Welcome to the 16th Cyprus Economist Summit. This time we are virtual because of COVID-19, but we hope to be real and physical again next year. Obviously, this year has been difficult for everybody. My name is John Peet. I am the political and Brexit editor of The Economist, and it's my privilege and pleasure to be your chairman and moderator for this summit. It has been a hard year economically for everybody. GDP for the Eurozone as a whole, we expect at The Economist to fall by something like 7 or 8% this year. Cyprus a little less, 6%, but countries like the UK, Italy and Spain more. We're expecting GDP to fall by 10% this year, which is a very deep recession, the deepest we have had in more than a century. But we are now, I hope, seeing some signs of recovery. There's favorable news about vaccine. All this week, there has been good news about vaccines. So although we are experiencing a very deep recession, much deeper than after the financial crisis, most economists, including us, expect that the recovery will be surprisingly rapid next year. And so next year should be a much better year economically. Two other comments as an introduction to our summit this year. Of course, the Eastern Mediterranean has become something of a political and even to some extent a diplomatic and military hotspot this year, especially over gas, but there have been regional tensions, which we will hear more about during the day. The situation in Syria has not improved much. Migration across the Mediterranean, still an issue. And above all, clashes with Turkey, and we have seen the sight of warships in the Eastern Mediterranean. As an outside observer, it doesn't seem to me that the moment is very propitious or likely for reviving the settlement talks for Cyprus, but maybe the future will bring better news. We have just also been through an American election, and only today we are hearing that finally Donald Trump seems to be moving to conceding that the election was won by Joe Biden and the new government will be formed, and we will hear more about that during the day. From Nicholas Burns and others. And I would just add a last point by way of introduction before we move on to hear from the president of Cyprus concerning the UK. We always have these summits and meetings at crunch moments. In the Brexit process, the UK formally left the European Union on January the 31st, as everybody knows. But the trade talks on the future relationship between the UK and the European Union are still ongoing, even now, even though the transition period for the will end on December the 31st. So we are at a very late stage in those trade talks, and it's very difficult even now to predict whether there will be a deal or whether there will be no deal. Either way, on the 31st of December, the UK will formally and finally leave the single market and the customs union, either with a trade deal or without a trade deal. So there is likely to be considerable disruption in the trade relationship between the UK and the European Union, which will perhaps affect the UK more than the European Union, but both sides can expect to experience this disruption. And I expect that next year there will be much more attention to the future relationship between the UK and the European Union. Even after the 31st of December, this story will not be finished. And that will also have some impact, I suspect, on Cyprus. So that's really my scene-setting comments for our 16th summit. I hope it works virtually, and I hope the audience will send in questions which the organizers will forward to me as the moderator, and I will put them to our panels. But we are going to begin with a video message from President Nikos Anastasiadis, who has been a long-term supporter of our summit and has always addressed us. And now, unfortunately, we can only hear him by video link this time, but he will speak to us for 15 minutes about Cyprus after the storm, building resilience, enhancing regional cooperation, and a test for the EU's cohesion, and something on the economy.